and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now.
I'm trying to figure out why it won't allow me to do the
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in
There
my
I am.
ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.
position 2. There we go. More settings. We're all set. I got a big show for you MFers. Okay. And we're just going to go live. Oh, boy. Let me get my chair set. Sorry about the drastic camera movements. Change this to live chat. It's Robotaxi week. Paid newsletter I will go over. I basically did 4 stocks that if they pulled back 5% or more, I would immediately buy. So we'll go over those 4 stocks. And then I asked the readers, what would be the 5th stock? There was one overwhelming favorite. And then there were like 3 or 4 that I was a little bit shocked at. And then I'll add 2. So a total of about 10 stocks that, hey, you should take a look at. Catalyst Watch, it's Robotaxi week. One of the stocks that I showed off last week was Instacart. That's interesting. Bitcoin, crazy story from a guy going from $88K to $450 million based on Tesla. And then going back to nothing, and he's suing his brokerage firm. Yeah. We'll go over that. Yeah. Josh Brown had a great little clip on, I forget Dan Nathan's podcast. I forget the name of it. New highs this week. Some folks think so, but the VIX is the key. MicroStrategy due for a breakout. Morning, Steph. Shopify shocks me. Tech stocks down 20% over the last 3 months. Which one? And I was doing a little bit of research on ETFs, but the quant rating on ETFs, I was shocked at the top list. And my weekly stock pick, top pick is Caterpillar this week. So I think that's interesting. But let's go core investments. It looks like it's fairly I mean, Amazon's down big. I don't know why Amazon's down so big. Let's see. Is there something on Amazon? No real news. It doesn't look like it, at least from Seeking Alpha, but there's Alpha Picks. Up 140% versus during the same time period that let me see. Oh, we're just going to go to analysis. Okay. Let's do some scans. Market scanner. Wah, wah. Ho, 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 ho. Morning, Donnie. Morning, James. Yeah, another hurricane. My buddy's in the path this time in Naples. I've got family in Sarasota, and so there's some folks that are going to get blown. Snow, crowd, SMCI. There's a lot that seems to have crossed up. Let's see. Bitcoin. Bitcoin went a little bit wild. Bitcoin and crypto. BITW. I went to the outlet malls Friday. Got some new clothes. Covered call ETFs. RYLD. Should name that income ETFs. NXE. LICY. Penny. There's a lot of leveraged ETFs. Yep. FNGUI, fun guy. That's fucking penny. Bye. NVDL, NVDX, and MagQ. Fucking penny. Morning, Jacob. Low cost Vanguard. Let's see any. Nope. Let's see if any spider sectors. I don't think any spider sectors. Ooh, XLF. BRK.B and XLF. Watch list. We're going to have a bunch on here. Oh, yeah. We got a lot. Doc N, Net, Trading Desk. Nice. AMD, SMCI. We have ANF, JP Morgan, SOFI, and CrowdStrike. SOFI has quietly made its way up past that $8 mark. Kind of pulled back to this 770 level, 780 level. Hasn't really filled 859. Let's see. This one got to 853. Maybe you could consider that one a earning. I think it's an earnings gap. No, it's kind of just a gap down. But you got another gap up here that's unfilled at 947. Interesting. Let's go to the Dow. Anything on the Dow, JP Morgan, and AXP, American Express. Fucking penny. NASDAQ 100. I love you, penny, but you gotta stop. Take two. Fortinet. KEA, KLAC, AMD, Workday. AMD I probably should have in the, you know what? I should have AMD at least in the watch list. Yeah, it is in the watch list. Okay, so it's up there. Copart, Dexcom, NVIDIA, CrowdStrike, Dollar Tree. I saw Jim Cramer was recommending Dollar Tree and SMCI. Let's see, Schwab. I should have Schwab in the watch list. Do I not have Schwab in the watch list? I should. I'm going to add that to the watch list. AXP, Bank of America, GM. GM I should have them on the watch list too. Why do I not have GM on the watch list? Capital One Financial. COF. MasterCard, Meta, NVIDIA. Okay. There's our scans. See, entry 153. Could be getting back to all-time highs. Yeah, that's a golden cross right there that as we get further and further, I'm just kind of thinking, poof. We're not going to get the pullback that I expect. Okay, I don't have water. Split was last week, James. Split was last week. SMCI went through their split last week. I think it was like last Wednesday or something. Where is SM? Oh, I took it out of the core portfolio, so I'd have to type it in. Yeah, I still hold that one. So Qs are down 0.38 in pre-market. Okay, let's open up some. I need to open up. We're going to go to seekingalpha.com. And thank you. I was going to ask, but thank you for listening. I suddenly got water delivered to me. It was fucking Penny. You want me to call it? You had it in the living room. Oh. You got it? Okay. Stock index futures after Wall Street's gain off tumble. I'm not going to put that in. I don't think they're tumbling. Consumer discretionary, telco, hot themes, analysis for you, ETFs by quant. There we go. That's what I wanted to bring up. Okay, so we got that one. I like my weekly stock pick. Caterpillar. There we go. Tech stocks. Shopify, I was wrong. Just like I was. MicroStrategy. It's up today. New highs this week for the VIX. Green light long term, but possible short term chop. That's what he's saying. 15 timeless tips for trading and investing. I liked this. We'll go over that. This guy, an educated investor. That's a good one. This is a crazy story. Guy went from 88K to 450 million. Bitcoin should be in your profile based on seasonality. Here's the cart chart that I was talking about. Instacart. Catalyst watch. I mean, it's Robotaxi week. That's it. Google's dominance. Apple slips as Jeffries. Bye. Improving margins. We'll talk about Powell Industries. And the two biggest movers today, Pfizer and Arcadium Lithium. Okay. So, I haven't seen AEHR. I don't know what AEHR. Isn't that Aero something? Air Test Systems. What's so great about this one? Yeah. Has negative earnings per share revisions and is overpriced when compared to other information technology stocks to the point that its sell rating from our quant, stocks rated sell, or worse by our quant system have massively underperformed the S&P. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that people don't think it's a buy, but doesn't interest me. I mean, when I see that, I'm like, eh. And then you see upper left, bottom right. You know, then you go to Wall Street and 2 analysts are covering it and they have a $25 price target. Of course, 2. Yeah, Donnie, you and me both. QQQ. I mean, the algorithm is a great guide on that, but with that MACD kind of crossing up, do I trust that we're going to get above 500 and hold 500? I don't know. I mean, that's just what's your time frame. That's where you got to look at it. Is your time frame short? Because if you're short term, then maybe it's not a good time. If you're long term, any time is a good time. If Penny fucking brought me water, she'd make herself useful. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I will be right back.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making.
Okay. You're still pounding on hymns? Ironic you say pounding in hymns, which is erectile dysfunction. I giggle at that. Peter, PLL. What the hell's PLL? Let's look at the chart first. Piedmont Lithium. Lithium's been horrible. I mean, it's coming back into fashion, I think, with the bottom, but that's not a chart that I'd say, ooh, yes, let's get into it. That's a weekly chart. So I'd probably be careful. Lithium has just been, you know, pre-lithium run up in 2020. You're right back to where you were. So I don't think there's anything special about it. But Peter, I would do your research on lithium and just understand that it's probably a risky one. AEHR all-time chart. You're saying long-term? Okay, let's look at long-term. I mean, that makes it even more questionable to me. I mean, that's not a horrible one, but it's just not one that I would say, ooh, I got to get into this one. So I'm sorry if I offend you, James. If it offends you that I don't like it, We all have different opinions. It's like vanilla and chocolate ice cream. I won't eat vanilla ice cream unless there's chocolate in it. And that offends some people. Yeah, I think, again, materials and stuff like that, it's a matter of personal opinion. Okay, I'm going to get started on this one because I've got everything I need to. Good morning. Happy Monday, October 8th. I think Prime Day starts tomorrow. So hopefully everybody's shopping because I own a bunch of Amazon and it's been pulled back a little bit. I think it's down like 1% in pre-market or something. I don't know why I just slammed the Qs like that. I was trying to get up to my watch list on Amazon. It's minus 1.52%. So where are we on the Qs? And it's Monday. So don't expect me to know what we're going to wind up at the end of the week. We know that we've got a lot of catalysts. I've got a lot of things to go over. I've got 5 stocks that I put on my watch list this weekend. In the newsletter, I typed it out, 5 names I have on my buy list. And if they pull back 5% or not, no questions asked, I'm buying them. We'll go over those 5. I actually only put 4. And then I asked the readers to give me the 5th one. And interesting response. I'll go over 7 or 8 of those. It's Robotaxi week. What's going to come out there? Have no idea what's going to come out there. Catalyst watch. We'll go over everything. Instacart looks interesting. Bitcoin. We'll go over the seasonality of Bitcoin. Crazy story of a trader who went from 88K to over $450 million using Tesla options. And he's back to nothing. So we'll go over that one. 15 timeless tips for trading and investing. I thought this was a great list of 15 things. Tom Lee thinks we're going all-time highs, but he thinks there is going to be chop. Are we going to see that? MicroStrategy due for a breakout. Shopify, I was wrong. An analyst was wrong. We'll go over ETFs by quant rating. And then we'll go over my weekly stock pick. He's got a weekly stock, and OGs will remember him, and we'll go over that. So first things first, where are the Qs? The Qs on Friday, we had a decent Friday. It was the jobs report Friday. So it took a 0.5 point November rate increase down to 0%. So it was a good jobs report. You can argue politically, there was a revision of over 1 million jobs or something. The last time it could be fake, could be real. The street believes this stuff, so nothing matters politically. The only thing that matters in the stock market is the price. What happened? The reaction was, well, we took a 0.5 point off. More likely, if there's a rate cut in November, it's going to be a 0.25 point. Good news is good news. Bad news is bad news. This was a little bit murky because the good news is the job market is very strong. The bad news is the Fed may have jumped the gun and gone a 0.5 point in September, and it might have been a little too aggressive, but the data will tell. Nobody can always tell. Nobody can see into the future. They waited too long to actually cut, to raise rates into the face of inflation. Inflation exploded. Now they might be late on this one. I'm still in the soft landing camp. So you have to pick which camp you're out, and that's going to determine your short-term view. I'm still in the soft landing, which means that short term, I still think that we go up in 3 to 6 months. I think in 3 to 6 months, we're higher than we are today. In 1 month, it's a little bit murky. We talked about the little pullback in the Qs that I noticed last year during this time. We've talked about this. And no, you don't have to listen to every freaking episode. Just know I'm a little bit concerned about the third dip that we might see. Tom Lee is too. We'll talk about all that. But the Qs, again, if you're buying 3 to 6 months out, just buy. I'm 90% invested. It's the 5% that I'm looking to time, and I'm looking to get a good price. I don't care if it's higher. I'm just looking to get a good price. So, biggest movers today. Biggest movers are Pfizer and Arcadian Lithium. Pfizer rose 3% after an activist took a $1 billion stake in the company. The chart looks decent. I'm not necessarily, we've seen Starbucks, we've seen Love, we've seen other ones where we've seen even Pinterest with Elliott Management. Activists are becoming a little bit more where they push the stock up and they get in there, they make some cuts, they do some things. Pfizer's going to be an interesting one because $1 billion stake in a company like Pfizer isn't big. But Arcadian Lithium, that's Rio Tinto, expressed interest in acquiring them. They're up 28%. Interesting move. Nothing you can time. So let's talk about the the 5 stocks, because I'm just going to lean into this one. Okay, 5 stocks that were on my watch list. It's listed in there for the subscribers. One other thing I want to point out, and I will point it out again. Where do I get my watch list? Well, a lot of it comes from Seeking Alpha, okay, and Alpha Picks. There are 2 things that I sell. It's this from Seeking Alpha. It's Seeking Alpha Premium, where you get the quant rating of all the individual stocks that you own or you investigate. And then there's Alpha Picks, which is a curated portfolio. Here's the thing. You can buy these separately. And you go to my Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. You can buy them separately. And you can pay, here you go. Here's the separate one. Here's Seeking Alpha Premium, which is $269 for the year. Okay, you save $30 off your premium membership by using me. You can buy Alpha Picks at $450. You save $50 off your premium membership for that. But what's exclusive now is you can bundle this up. Okay, so instead of paying $798, it's $639 for both of them for 1 year. For both of them. So you're saving $160. That's huge, okay? I inserted this, the bundle up right here, the second link. It is such a good deal. So that's where I get a lot of this. And in fact, on the course over the weekend, it's a video course. And in the video, I go over how I use Alpha Picks and how I don't know if I went over Alpha Picks, but I went over Seeking Alpha Premium, how I use the quant. And I go over the number of Alpha Picks in the portfolio that I actually own. I go over all of that. So let's talk about some of this list. There were 4 of them. Okay, I will give you one. CELH. Okay, this is not CELH. CLS. I always do that. I always mess those up. CLS. This one has pulled back 5% from its highs. Okay, and if we go to to Seeking Alpha and we type this in, we can see it's a strong buy on the quant. Okay, the valuation's not crazy. The growth is a C+. The revisions, people are they're taking it up. Momentum, huge momentum. Profitability is an issue. Okay, they only have a 10% gross profit margin. The sector, which is an information technology, electrical manufacturing services, sector has a 50% profit margin. So they don't really have pricing power. But that's made up by their revenue growth, 13% year over year, where the sector's only growing by 3%. So they're growing, but they're not making as much money. Their levered cash flow, though, the amount of actual cash that they're putting off is 28% versus the sector at 22%. So they're doing things efficiently. Okay, the valuation, not crazy, 16 PE, 14 forward. The PEG ratio, 0.14. This is one where if it pulled back 5%, I would be interested in getting it. Okay, well, let's take a look at it. If we take a look at the weekly, what's happened? Well, it has pulled back 5% because we can see from the top here at 63.49. If we go up here to 63, okay, it's pulled back 19% from its highs. It's pulled back 19% from its highs. If we go to Wall Street and we look, there are 9 analysts. That's not a lot, but their average price target is 62. That's a 16% upside from where you are today. This is one that I put on my list. And from a weekly perspective, look at that stock chart. Okay, it's pulled back and the MACD has reset. Look at the volume. The volume profile starting to go down a little, but it seems to have been held up since that run started. Is this another SMCI where it just gets pumped up and then pulled back? I don't know. If we take a look at the 4-hour algorithm, the 4-hour algorithm over 24 months makes you 417%. Okay? If you bought and held this one, you made 531%. So I want to trade this one based on the 4-hour algorithm. You can see, even with the pullback, it's pulled back, and then you made 7% on that pullback. Okay? Now today, the entry was 45. Where are you today? You're trading at 53. Your average win is 25%. So if we look at the last buy at 45 and we look, we're at about 16, 17%. I would guess that we still have a little bit to go, The MACD crossing up, but it's not super high. It's relatively, no, not even a point above. Now, the RSI, extremely overbought. Their earnings are coming up on October 23rd. I want to buy this one at a decent price, so I'm probably going to wait for it to get down below 52. But if we all of a sudden see a breakout and we see it go for this gap at 57, that's where I will buy it. I'm making a short-term play on a stock that I actually want to hold long-term, and it's pulled back 5%. That's how you go about this. It's just how you go about this. I mean, it's very simple, but I outline it. I do a video course. Okay, I put 4 in there. That was one of the 4. I asked readers, what is the 5th one that you would put in there? Overwhelmingly, people said POWL, P-O-W-L. This is an electric company. It is a Alpha Pick. Okay, Alpha Picks. If you want to read about Alpha Picks, they have this. Alpha Picks is up 140%. Versus 50% for the S&P during that time frame. Again, if you want the bundle, you can get the bundle. You can save that huge dollar amount. If you want the single and you want to do that kind of research that I just did with CLS, that's Seeking Alpha Premium. And if you want just Alpha Picks, this is just 2 stock picks per month. This is on the 1st and the 15th, okay? It alerts you when to sell. The stock pick over multiple sectors. It is a fantastic portfolio. The return is why I like this one. Okay, real-time return, 140% versus the S&P at 50%. That's over the life of it. If you go and look at their promotions, it's 139% since July 1st, 2022 to September 27, 2024. 130, again, outpacing the S&P. So it beats VOO by a large margin. And since a large number of my audience has Alpha Picks, overwhelmingly, they suggested POWL. This particular analyst just did an analysis of it. So I don't have 20 analysts that work for me. What I like to do is let the analyst outline everything for me. This is where he rated it a buy. It's his first analyst buy on this one. Okay, the first time Jason looked at it. So it's not like I can take a look at it and say, okay, this is one that he's rated before. But if we go and we look at the actual stock chart, this has been a winner. And if we go and take a look at the weekly, where Alpha Pick started adding it, it was way back here at 57. You're at 242%. Okay, that trend line, that is support, you're well above that. So where do I want to add this one? Where do I want to add? I mean, that's the key question. The algorithm says add at 161. You're already at what? 244. So your support level is 200. You're already at 244. Do I want to add when the RSI is at 80? Do I want to add when the MACD is that far up? You know, you had a reset in the MACD back here September 2nd. It was selling for 146. This is why you have a watch list like that, okay? Set it up. I've been wanting to buy this one. I didn't set this up particularly well. That was part of the reason why I wrote the newsletter this weekend, is I spent the weekend setting this up. Okay, Alpha Picks picked it here. I knew that I wanted to get it. I didn't know that, I was like, is it overvalued? Well, they make the analyst says, no, it's not overvalued. Let's go and take a look at it. The valuation, see, it's got a 23 PE. But their PEG ratio going forward is 1.88. It's under 2. Their PEG ratio on the trailing 12 months, they've been blowing it away. And every other sector is A+ on growth, A+ on profitability, A+ on momentum, A on revisions. Their profitability, huge. The gross profit margin, 25%. But their levered free cash flow is 16%. That's huge. Again, it's a good company. And overwhelmingly, it was the number one. When I saw this chart, I was like, it absolutely should be in there. Okay? Another one that people suggested was Rocket Labs, because they heard me say that Simon from 7 Investing, he convinced me on this one. And you guys have been big on this one as well. Rocket Labs isn't even back to its all-time high. I would say that this range right here between 6 and 8 was a place to buy. $9 gets a little bit hard to buy it here. If we look at the 4 hour, the algorithm makes you 97% versus 128% if you bought and held. Had you in at 662. Makes me a little bit nervous with the MACD up that high. But if you have this on your list of if it pulls back 5%, I'm going to buy it because I believe in this company. It's a good one. Another suggestion was the other one that I suggested, which I would not suggest, Celsius. I get this messed up with CLS all the time. Celestica. But CELH is the energy drink. I wouldn't buy this one. I don't particularly think this is a good one. If you look at a weekly chart, this one's pulled back to its 200-day, couldn't hold it, broke right through. MACD, kind of semi-resetting. I would say if this one, not 5%, but I would say if we get a nice 10% pop on this one on the 4 hour, the 4 hour algorithm ironically makes you 15%. Whereas if you bought and held this 2 years ago, you're down by 0.5%. So if you held on to this one, you're actually losing for any time between now and the last 2 years. But has it reset? Hasn't reset, hasn't shown the growth. I would stay away from it. Another one that people mentioned, Palantir. Okay, Palantir, great company. Going towards 40. It's at 39.77. That 4 handle is going to provide some type of resistance, and you're going to see it. I think the all-time high on this one was 45. If we go back here, it's 45, the high. So it's going to provide some resistance there. It closed at $40.01. It's going to provide some resistance. It's just the natural point of the market. When you get to a 4 handle, it's going to provide some resistance. If it explodes through there, it will. When you look at this weekly chart, the MACD is just still way over the oscillator line, and the RSI is at 75. Do I want to get into this one now? No. But if it pulls back 5%, I might want to look at this one because it's shown that it has 45 in the stock, even when they weren't making money. Now they're starting to make money. Their earnings are coming up on October 28th. It's an interesting one. Now, Damon puts out on the, and I'll include this, on the newsletter, he puts out a nice comment. I think it should be Workday. And I'll read it to you. It has a good setup. It's been bottom left to upper right past couple of years. Also, it's a recent 10 in top ranks, tip ranks. He has a subscription to tip ranks. Smart score, it's very similar to your quant rating. I like for a breakdown on how it grades with total return since 2016 is 300%. Alpha over S&P is 118%. Its breakdown is blogger sentiment, hedge fund trend, crowd wisdom, news sentiment. That's all tip rank stuff. The grades are 1 to 3 underperform, 4 to 7 is neutral, blah, blah, blah. For a while, not to mention it has news behind it. Chinese tech conglomerate Tencent is hiring for the deployment of Workday financials. The firm views this as a significant win for the Workday. Analyst tells investors year to date it's down 12% and has room to get positive into year's end, made up at least 10%. But it was thinking it's just holding long term. It's a good stock, soft landing, hard recession, blah, blah, blah. Monday, I'm putting a buy order in on my Home Depot watch list. I made it, and I've been waiting on this gap to fill. Okay, so let's take a look at Workday. So Workday here, 4 hour chart, 4 hour algorithm makes you 59%. Buy and hold makes you 56% over 2 years. 21 positions, so it's not even once a month. You just got 241 buy. Okay, so you just had nice little pullback after a 17% gain. Since the last earnings, you had this entry at 212, nice 4% gain in the algorithm. Then you had this entry at 214, nice 17%. It filled the gap, and it filled the gap down to 232. Okay, it's filled this gap. Now you're at 241. Have you turned? No. Do you have confirmation over the 9-day? No. But your MACD is below the oscillator. Your RSI is coming off oversold levels at 32. So let's move to a weekly because we know that the 4 hour actually makes you more than buy and hold. So do we look at the weekly? The weekly says, well, the MACD is below the oscillator. The RSI is coming. It's at 49. It's just trending down. We haven't seen a turn up, but we do have this gap here from an earnings point to 291. Okay, so you had this, you can see this 2021 to 2022, that pullback, and then you've been in that straight up. Last year, September, you saw this nice pullback, which pulled back to the 200-day and then shot up. This year, it was July. We pulled back to the 200-day. You shot up through earnings, and now you're coming back. You're filling the gap. Will you get, their earnings are coming up November 25th, so you don't have earnings coming up anytime soon. Let's look at Workday in the quant, because he does it on tip ranks. Again, his tool is tip ranks. My tool is Seeking Alpha. We look at the quant, and it says it's a buy. Let's look at the valuation. The valuation, its PE is 36. For a 36, in my mind, I'm buying Apple at 30 over this one at 30. Just my particular preference. But the quant says it's a 4.37 out of 1 to 5. That's a really good quant rating. And if we go and look at that history, it just turned to a buy. Might even get a strong buy. The momentum is the problem right now. But when you look at that 3-month performance, the short term looks like it's turning around. Again, I like this one, Damon. I'm going to put this one on our the Trendspider watch list. I like that one because I want to scan against it. It just got a cross up. So, again, throw it on there. I like this one. I like it. Now, Charles Tone added that he likes TLN. TLN is Talon Energy Corporation. I don't even know what these guys do. Let's see. Is this kind of like Vistra Energy? Let's see. They do an independent power producer and infrastructure, produces and sells electricity, capacity, and ancillary services into the wholesale market. It is a $9 billion company, so it's a little bit on the small cap side. It is ranked on utilities number 1 out of 6. Number 1 out of 6. VST, which we like. This one is an interesting one. About a small position about 10 days ago. I'm up 20%. TLN up 35%. Ranked much higher VST in the quant. I plan on adding with any pullback of 3% or more. As I did with APP, he did AppLovin. I love that one. That worked out very well. I'm a paid member and a daily listener since March. Your insight and advice has helped my portfolio. Best thing I learned is get rid of my losers. Thanks, Charles. I like this TLN. And if we go and look at TLN, the algorithm had you in at 149. You know, it's made you 27%. I think it's a recent, this is a recent IPO, so it doesn't even have a 200-day. Doesn't have a 50. It does have a 50-day. You're trading above it. Now, if we go and we look at the TLN's fundamentals, it's a strong buy in the quant, and it's been a strong buy. Let's see, since 147, you're 190. Wall Street, there's 9 analysts that follow it, so it's not a ton, but their average price target is 214. That's a 12% upside. Now, when you look at the summary of this one, it's only reached 197. So you're buying at 190. But the top price is 197. I think this is the perfect stock that if it pulls back 5%, you buy it. I mean, so far it's been just a great one. A great one. You can go and look at that one. I like that one. So TLN, it's on I'm going to add this to our daily stock pick watch list. Put it in there and we'll scan for it now. So this is how you use a watch list. Now, another one that people suggested, Meta. Anything under $600 on Meta, I think, is a bargain at this point. Their earnings are coming up October 30th. Just understand, this one is expensive. Currently, it's expensive. Zuckerberg is going to spend. You're going to see a huge amount of money. I told Wolf last week, I think it was Evan wanted to get more Meta. My suggestion, wait until their earnings, because Mark Zuckerberg is going to announce $50 billion of spend on NVIDIA. So NVIDIA will fly. But he's also going to announce that he spent money. What'll happen is you'll see a pullback on the stock. So 5% or more, put it on your list. Now, in conjunction, NVIDIA, if you see a 5% pullback or more, you put it on your list. I know this one's on a ton of my lists. It's on the core portfolio. But NVIDIA, you can see here, NVIDIA, if we just look at this one, it's using that 200-day as its support line on the 4-hour. You know, it's 200 days at 116. I've said this, 122. You've seen it kind of use it as resistance, pulled back a little bit on Friday. The low on this one was 123.76. Your RSI is at 61. You're right at the oscillator. It's not a bad one. So there you have 8 stocks: Powell, Rocket Lab, Celsius, Palantir, Workday, TLN, Meta, and NVIDIA. I will add some, okay? I will add Apple. If I didn't have so much Apple, I would actually be adding this one to a watch list. Now, Apple slips as Jefferies downgrades on too high iPhone expectations. That's what you're going to have to deal with. Their earnings are coming up. They have been using $230, $228 to $230 as a resistance point. Until that becomes support, it is resistance. And their earnings, it's going to be huge whether they actually are seeing an increase in iPhone sales. And remember, they don't release iPhone sales. They will just release iPhone revenue. So they back into that kind of stat. Everything that you see is that the Pro and the Max models are huge winners. And they're supposed to release Apple Intelligence October 28th is upgrade to 18.1, I think is what it is. That's what I heard. So it's right before their earnings. They're going to announce that they're going to do earnings. Maybe they're hoping that, hey, we're going to announce this and we're going to raise our iPhone 16 estimates for the go forward. It's expensive. This stock is expensive. It is not cheap. I said, hey, Workday, I'd rather have Apple. It's 33 PE going forward. Workday's about the same thing. So, you look at the PEG, it's not as good as Workday because they're not expecting the growth. Now, another one that I think you should have on your watch list is Google. And here's the bad news on Google. If they pull back 5% or more, AI takes aim at Google's search dominance. Amazon, Perplexity, because Amazon put money into Perplexity. ByteDance, TikTok, Shortpoint says it has 170 million users. Google, it could be a year a dominant where they actually get their dominance taken away. That's been providing a lot of resistance on the stock in order to get back above its 200-day. You get a gap up here. I think for the long term, you add this one. But the RSI is at 69, on the 4-hour. But you look at this one, it's using the 50-day. The 50-day is at 157. The difference between 157 and 168 is nothing if you're going to buy this long term. Again, 5% pullback. Look at how the MACD reset. Look at how the MACD reset on the weekly. It's a little bit extended on the short term, but I like it. Again, there's 10 stocks for you that I think you could put on your watch list if you wanted to. 10 of them. Catalyst Watch. This is the best Seeking Alpha article that I get every Friday at like 3 o'clock. Volatility Watch, options trading on Vertex Energy, VTNR, and Tesla. The most overbought stocks relative to their 14-day RSI index. It's DUO, Cara Therapeutics, Site Center, blah, blah, blah. Fed speakers this week. This is all Monday. All day, NVIDIA AI Summit. That's huge. NVIDIA AI Summit today. 4-day battery show and electric hybrid vehicle technology expo in Detroit. That's going to provide some pump. PagerDuty CEO and Airbnb CFO will be 2 notable speakers at Information Summit. That's huge. Tuesday, we have Pepsi earnings. All day, Procter & Gamble's annual meeting. All day, FDA. All day, one of the biggest conferences in the casino. You can look at Flutter. You can look at MGM, DraftKings. 8:15, Pepsi holds its earnings. Okay, Wednesday, notable companies due to report their earnings. AZZ, Applied Digital, Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy is the one that really kind of started that inflation narrative because there's like 800 brands that they have. It was an interesting one. All day, it's the termination date of the merger between Albertson and Kroesinger unless the companies file an extension. Be an interesting one. All day, Zoom will hold its Zoomtopia Americas event. And then on Thursday, you have Hewlett Packard hold its AI event. Earnings Watch, it's Delta Airlines and Domino's Pizza. All day, AMD would hold its advanced AI. This is the week of AI. Okay, week of AI. Where's Tesla's event? Let's see. Where is Tesla's event? Tesla, I'm just going to go here. Tesla's Robotaxi event, I think it's the 10th. Reveal. Where is it? I think it's the 10th. So it would be, Thursday. They don't have it listed in here. There it is, 10 p.m. Will hold its anticipated Robotaxi event, 10 p.m. And then Friday starts big earnings. So I think there's opportunities in here. Again, you can do your research and look at it. Here's some opportunities here. An absolute banger of a setup, CART. I brought up a CART last week. I think it's in you know where it is? It's in the, I built a portfolio, a watch list from the quant, and the quant has CART as a good one. Now, 35 is the entry here. The algorithm makes you 58% over 12 months because this was an IPO. 58% over 12 months in this algorithm. 11 positions. So not even once per month. You listen to the algorithm. You want to know why? Because if you bought and held this one on the IPO, you are down 3%. You are down 3% if you bought this on the IPO. The IPO, it opened at 42. Okay. Its high was 42.95. And we went down from there. So again, if you're holding this one at 40, and you didn't trade it on the 4-hour algorithm, you've made 58% over 12 months versus buying and holding. This is the way to do an IPO. You have a strategy. It has you in at 35. You're at 40 right now. Do you want to buy this one? Well, it's an interesting setup. The daily chart, an absolute banger of a setup. Heading into next week, this is a daily chart. You're getting right back up to those that little 38. It's pulled back. Could it be one that kind of pops up? Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big Instacart guy. I don't order my groceries from this one. But the quant says it's a strong buy. It's ranked number 2 out of 14 in consumer staples. Where has it been a strong buy? It's been a strong buy since it opened up at 40. So when it actually opened up here at 42.14, they initiated a buy. The valuation, they don't think it's crazy. I think it's nuts. I think it's a little nuts. Profitability, their gross profit margin, 75%. They have pricing power. It's ranked number 2 out of 14 in food retail. Tesco is number 1. Sprouts Farmers Market is number 4. Sprouts Farmers Market, ironically, is an alpha pick. And look at that chart. That chart is just unbelievable. Sprouts Farmers Market is an alpha pick. But I thought that was interesting that I built that portfolio and then that comes up. Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin should be in your portfolio. Starting this week, Bitcoin enters a seasonally strong period with the next 9 weeks showing high win rates over 13 years. 13 years. And look at the next 9 weeks. Anytime that Bitcoin dips under 60,000, just add it. Just add IBIT. There's 2 plays. There's IBIT and there's MicroStrategy. Okay? Those are the 2 plays. MicroStrategy, let's see. There it is. There is no second back. MicroStrategy, bullish rectangular pattern. This is MicroStrategy. This is a weekly bullish rectangular pattern. They've identified it. Is it a good one? I'm hoping. I own a bunch of this. I love this one. And they've been very predictable. This first comment. It's been super predictable. So I like Bitcoin. I have IBIT and I have MicroStrategy. Now, this is the story of a man, a 30-year-old trader who from Vancouver turned $88,000 to $415 million trading Tesla options. Then he lost everything. Don't be this guy. He is blaming the broker for not alerting him to risk. When you go from $88,000 to $415 million and don't take $100, $200 million off the table and just put it into VOO, just put it into VTI, just put it into whatever is absolutely safe to put off $1.2, $5, $6 million a year in actual income. It's not the brokerage's fault. Don't be this guy. An idiot. Want to talk about another idiot? Josh Brown. And this clip is great. He's if there's one thing you're gonna listen to in the newsletter, it's this one. It's great. His son came to him and said, "Dad, My school is having this stock contest where you can buy stocks. I've got to win because you're my dad. And Josh Brown goes, listen, there's some idiot who's going to trade 0 DTE options who's going to beat you. It's not about who actually knows. There are idiots in the market who can absolutely play that, this guy, 88,000 to 415 million. There are idiots out there, and there are idiots who win. Now, I'm on Savvy Trader. I make the great portfolio. I could be one of these idiots who loses everything. Okay? Absolutely. But listen to that one. That one's good. Now, this is just a fantastic thread. It's 15 timeless tips for trading and investing. 15 of them. The buying power of $1 over time. Do not sit in cash. This is 1900 to 2020. That's the buying power. If you want to think inflation is bad now, imagine inflation during the 1900s when you had cash and you went down. Just in 20 years, you went from $1 to 80 cents because now you're under 10 cents. You can't go down that much. But again, the buying power over time from 1900 to 2020, stay invested. Time in the market beats timing the market. So if you have money and you don't think that you can time it between now and election day, just get in. 2, the impact of taxes on compounding. This one I posted before. Number 3, compounding can be beautiful. Again, compounding money. It pays to be in the market. Let your winners run. 20-year returns. This monster eats Apple for breakfast. This is Monster Energy and Apple and Amazon. Monster Energy destroys them over a 20-year return. So let your winners run. Don't think you can time yourself in and out. Find stocks that are bottom left to upper right and buy them. Okay? Doesn't mean that Monster Beverage is going to continue to be the huge one. It just means that you have to understand, let your winners run. Never invest in the next big thing. Okay? Carvana, Peloton, Beyond Meat, Coinbase, Teladoc, Lemonade, Robinhood, Snap, Zoom, DocuSign, Spotify, Tesla, Netflix. Performance since its peak. Netflix is the only one that has come back to its thing. This is a little bit outdated. Okay? Snap, Zoom, DocuSign. Again, Coinbase isn't back to its peak. Percentage gains need to recover from losses. Cut your losers. It takes 100% gain to get back from a 50% loss. And they say that's the biggest thing that I bring to you. Just cut your losers. Again, if it's a stock that you think is going to win long term, doesn't mean that you can't hold on to a short amount or buy back in. Say you're down 20% on a stock, but you believe in it long term, but you're down 20%. Take half of it off, and when it starts pumping again, put that half back in. Getting back in is tough. That's what this is. The psychology of a market cycle. Again, euphoria, complacency. Read this one. Investing isn't gambling. It's not gambling. And don't follow the herd. Don't be afraid. When other people are afraid, that's when you buy. When other people are buying, that's when you take a look and start to take money off the table. That's what the RSI indicator is. Always invest during stock market crashes. This goes over it perfectly. Invest when the stock for the long term. If you're investing rent money, that's gambling. If you're investing, invest during crashes. Investing during trading. In investing, always remember that Rome was not built in a day. You can't look at the daily market and say, yes, I'm investing. You can look at the daily market, make some moves based on the daily market in a small portfolio. Your large portfolio, you should be looking at weekly charts. You should be looking at monthly charts. In trading, always remember that Hiroshima and Nagasaki were destroyed in a day. So if you're trading, make sure you protect your profits. Buy stocks when consumer confidence is low. Again, buy the dip. The true wealth is having time to spend with loved ones. That's the number one thing I've gotten with early retirement. I get to do whatever the hell I want. It's not that I've got a lot of money. It's you will find your spending patterns are just always kind of going to be there. I've got a lot of money. I don't spend more. It just makes, you buy back your time. Avoid these mistakes. Okay? New investors make every one of these mistakes. Avoid them. The longer you invest, the longer your investment horizon, the better. Again, the better. 20 years, it's up 100%. 10 years, you're up 94%. 5 years, you're up 86%. 1 year, 74% of the time you're positive. Quarterly, you're up 68% of the time. Daily, you're up 54% of the time. So again, I thought this was great. I thought it's great. 15 timeless stories. Again, people like Tom Lee, the VIX is the key. He's saying we're going to go through chop, but he does think we end the year higher. The VIX is at 20. It's up 10% this morning. Up 10%. We can look at the Qs because the market just opened. Let's look at the Qs and get a little update. But the VIX is going to be the key. Qs is down 0.33%. The Qs are the VIX over 20. It wants to be at 20. So if it's sitting at 25, you can short the market because or you can buy the market because it should be going up from there. If the VIX is at 15, you probably want to be patient and just wait for it. There's the MicroStrategy stuff. Shopify. Shopify, I was wrong. And this is why I have an analyst, in Seeking Alpha as well. He said sell. Shopify is up 43% since he said sell. Now, I sold at 70. Full disclosure, I sold at 70. They go over Shopify. I know a lot of people are holding Shopify. I'm not currently holding Shopify. I want to get back in. So let's take a look at the chart. First, the quant says it's a hold. And the reason it's a hold, the valuation. The valuation is nuts. But the PEG ratio going forward is 1.66. So their growth is going to be key. Their growth is an A+. They're growing revenue 23% year over year. You get leverage free cash flow. They're growing 96% year over year. Profitability, their profit margin, 51%. Okay, returns on total assets, 11%. Net income per employee, $153,000. Okay, average sector, $6,400. So they're making a lot of money. Shopify, if you take a look at Shopify here, we talked about the weekly chart on Shopify, showing that the 200-day is going to be some type of resistance. Well, at 81, 80 was where it was at. At 81, it should see that weekly chart. Let's do this. I think because I didn't restart Trendspider, it's hanging up a little bit, but we're going to run this again. And we're going to run it on Shopify. Shopify is still, even though I sold it, it's still in the core portfolio because I believe it. See that trend line right there? That was a trend line that was providing us support. We'll see it on the weekly. But the algorithm got you in at 71. I sold out at 70 and because I was just sick of it bouncing, because when you look at this weekly chart, I said, this one, that downtrend, that's where the resistance was. This one is the support level off of that low of 2022. Okay, your high is up here at $170. You're trading at 81. Now, if we zoom in a little bit, we can see where was this low? It was $78 right at the 200-day. Where was this low? $77 right at the 200-day. Where is this week starting off at? It opened at 82. Its low is 80. I would expect anything under 80 to be a decent buy on this one. Again, I don't know that it's absolutely going to its all-time highs, but you can see the RSI pulling back a little at 59. I would use this trend line as its support. It has held it up except for that August 5th, which was the Japan unwind trade. Okay, but that's where the intersection was. And it looks like the positive sentiment is coming up. And you can read that article that I just posted in the newsletter about it. You can read the article that goes over exactly why Shopify, I was wrong. Stock rebounded 43% since my last coverage. The analyst, the income generator, takes it on the chin. Now there's tech stocks that are down more than 20% over the last 3 months. SMCI is one of them. It's the biggest loser. Intel down 28%, CrowdStrike down 26%, Micron Technologies 25%. You can take this list, find one that is actually on the rebound and is looking positive, and go and buy it. Again, these are stocks that are beaten down. There might be reasons they are beaten down, but I think it's opportunities. Now, how do you use, I was searching the quant rating while in bed on the mobile app, and I'll post the picture. But here, what I found interesting is the top rated ETFs by quant rating, NVDU 4.99. All of these over here on the left, the top 4 of them are leveraged ETFs, top 5 of them. Leveraged ETF, top 6 of them, leveraged on the upside. And so it's interesting to me that all of these are leveraged on the upside. And NVDU, this is NVD, it's leveraged on the upside. And it's trading midway between its 52-week range at 20 and 146. And I think NVIDIA, I think they do well. You know, the expenses are crazy. It's crazy. It's 1% expense ratio. It's nuts. But I like that list. OG listeners will remember my weekly stock pick. He picks one Dow stock per week. That's in momentum. And he beats the market. This is the performance tracker year with a 2% stop loss and a 6% profit gain. So at 2%, he stops out. Then this is weekly. So he picks one stock per week. This week it's Caterpillar. And I will link his newsletter. He's got a great newsletter. And again, OGs will remember this. I kind of got out of recommending him because I got Seeking Alpha and I got another analyst, but he uses quantitative algorithmic trading to do this. You can see 2024, he's up. The S&P is up 21%. His best week was 8%. Worst week, 6%. He wins 63% of the time this year. Last year, 56% of the time. Okay? Annual returns, he's up 18%. Not quite beating the S&P, but that's a tough ask. When the S&P is up 21% and you're up 18% on a weekly pick of 30 stocks, that's really good stock picking. And you can see here, he was up 48% in 2019 when the S&P was up 28%. He was up 86% in 2020 when the S&P was up 16%. He was up 44% in 2021 when the S&P was up 27%. This is the big one. The S&P in 2022 was down 19%. He was up 13%. 2023, he had a bad 2023. But overall, he's up 392% versus the S&P up 127. He doesn't charge for this pick. This is like your alpha pick for free. So go and follow him. I really, really like his stuff. Let's look. Kyler Gross asked me from Spotfiy, what are your views on Coca-Cola? So I have Coca-Cola in the core portfolio. I own Coca-Cola because my ass is addicted to Coca-Cola. I have said this before, buy it under 60, sell it over 60. I think that just moved to 70. But I will tell you, the algorithm has you out. It had you buy in at 72. I don't know that I would have bought at 72. That's a tough buy, but you're 200 days moving positive. I would say right now you have weakness. I would say wait for it to get to 67 and enter there. My thoughts on it long term, it's a bottom left to upper right stock. It really, really is. I mean, this one right back here in COVID where it dropped off a cliff. Anytime you bought it during this time period, you were fine. Even if you bought at 2022 highs at 66, you're still positive. You've got a good dividend. This is one that I don't think Warren Buffett will ever sell. I like this one. Do I think it's going to actually outpace the S&P? No, I don't think so. If we look at the charting of this one and we look at it against the S&P, at Coke is up 27%. The S&P over 1 year is up 34%. Coke is up 29%. The S&P is up 33%. 5 year, the S&P is up 94%. Coke is only up 30%. So it is not going to beat the S&P. Just understand that. It shouldn't be the basis of your portfolio. It is a large portion of Warren Buffett's portfolio. But I don't agree with it. He bought it for the same reasons I do. It's a business that puts off a ton of cash. It is consistent, and it consistently makes you money. But would I rather own this or VOO? I would rather own VOO. It depends on where you're at in your portfolio. Because this is one that, again, an 80 or 90-year-old guy named Warren in his rocking chair, he should own. It puts on, it's a stable stock. Somebody who's in their 19, 16-year-old, you shouldn't have this stock. It's not going to make you money over the long term. You should be taking more risk when you're younger. This is not a risky stock. Speaking of, let's talk about scans. BRK.B. This is one. Berkshire, entry 459. The algorithm makes you 19%. Buying and holding this one makes you 70%. Just look for the algorithm for an entry. You know, you can enter this one. This is not one that I would suggest trading. This is one that you can look for as an entry, okay? Meta. We have this entry on Meta at 524. You just got another bullish signal right here. Probably the MACD cross-up. Bank of America, I said buy this under 40. It's at $40.24. The algorithm says buy at $40, okay? The algorithm makes you 55%. Buying and holding this one makes you 30% over the last 2 years, okay? NVIDIA. NVIDIA, there's a buy right here. It's a secondary buy. The initial buy was at 113. The algorithm over 24 months makes you 836%. Buying and holding this one over 24 months makes you 897%. I would argue that this one is in a trading range between 100 and 120. At 127, I think you're buying this one because all of the hyperscalers are about to announce their earnings later this month. And they're going to announce that they're spending billions of dollars on NVIDIA. That's it. So when NVIDIA has a nice bullish cross-up like this, I think you go and take it. CrowdStrike is one. Snowflake is one. All of these have cross-ups in the algorithm. Oh, I want crowd, not crow. Crowd, CRWD, CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike had that nice pullback from 300, and we're at 289. This one is a, oh, come on. We're going to go back to CrowdStrike. It's not thinking clearly because I put in the symbol wrong. There you go. 257, pulled back. You're under your 200-day. They're going to report earnings later in November. So there's no real catalyst on this one. The algorithm makes you 98% over 24 months. When it tells you to get in, you get in. I think anything under $300 is a steal on this one. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, I own Palo Alto Networks, which I think is a far better play on this one. A safer play. Now, another one that came out of the core portfolio, but it's still on my watch list because I don't know what the hell they're going to say. SMCI, $42. Okay? We have a long, long list of entries. You can go and look at them in the newsletter. The newsletter is free. Sign up for it here at dailystockpick.substack.com, or you can use my link tree because my link tree has everything that you need. Okay? Trendspider. Say you want the 4-hour algorithm because you like the 4-hour algorithm. Well, go and use the link tree and you sign up for Trendspider. You just go and click that link, and then right here you go to plans and pricing, and you can see the latest special. It is going to get you the best special. $53.50. You save over just under 50%. Pay annually, save 50%. Right there, $53 a month. $53 a month. And what happens next? You go over here and you go to the email address and you email me and you give me a screenshot of your account page that shows that you signed up. Then I'll email you a way to actually import my 4-hour algorithm, my 65-minute algorithm. And if you didn't know, last week we said trade UCO on the 65-minute. The 65-minute had an entry on UCO. Okay, it had an entry on the 4-hour there, but I said, you know what? On UCO, you want to use something tighter. $26 was the entry. And then you had Biden come out and say that Israel was going to attack Iran. Boom. Now, over 8 months, the 65-minute algorithm makes you 20% in UCO. And you're up on this one. You are way up. On 26, you're trading at 29. What's that? Over 4 days, you're up 12%. You're up 12%. It's getting to this little top right here at $30. I would have sold it on Friday because I don't like holding it. But you could buy back in if you wanted to. If you still see strength in oil, I think it's at $80 per barrel. You know, the MACD a little bit high, not super high. Last few times it's come like this and it's crossed down. You've had a pullback. Your RSI is high at 72. But that 65-minute algorithm, fantastic, man. And I email you that. I email you the 4-hour, the 65-minute. I email you all the watch lists, everything that I just told you that was on a watch list. It's on the Daily Stock Pick News watch list. Okay, you can scan against it. Another sector, by the way, that has a 4-hour cross-up, XLF. 45. Are the financials going for another run? We talked about this one being an all-time high at 41. You're seeing it hasn't pulled back to 41, but I would argue that this one with reduced rates is going to be good. They're going to reduce your interest rate. It's not going to make sense to hold cash in a money market anymore. So XLF is a good one. If you have any questions, hit me up on any of the social media programs. But again, that bundle offer from Seeking Alpha, it's limited time. Go and get it. $639. You get both Seeking Alpha Premium and Alpha Picks. The Alpha Picks portfolio is just unbeatable. They just had a new pick. We'll have another one on the 15th, so you're 7 days away. Get it because you get all of the fundamental analysis. And, by the way, what you get the weekly market recap, and they go over their entire portfolio. It's really, really good. Geopolitical tensions, worker strikes could reignite inflation, impacting the Fed's plans rate cut, blah, blah, blah. You get all of that in Alpha Picks. I really like Alpha Picks. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Again, everything's available here on the Linktree. You guys have a great Monday. Okay, take care. Okay. I thought that was a good podcast because it relied less on news, more on the charts. Morning, Scott. Raxo, did I talk enough about Meta? I mean, Amber, I'd point you towards Seeking Alpha. It's a hold quant. The valuation, they're not making money. If you're hearing a lot of good stuff, do some research on it. I mean, you've had, 10 analysts here in Seeking Alpha that say buy, strong buy. It's a buy from Seeking Alpha analysts, Wall Street, 20 analysts cover it. They've got a $14 price target, which is 15% above. It's a bank. I don't know anything about it. I mean, honest to God, I just don't know anything about it. So it's got a $63 billion market cap. Your guess is as good as mine. The chart doesn't, it's bottom left, upper right. You know, you're between $7 and $15 is your 52-week range. Looks like you've had a pullback. If this is one that you want on a 5% pullback, then, buy it. But I don't know anything about it, Amber. I would say I could talk about it, but there's nothing that I'm going to say that's going to be like, oh my God, I should buy that one. This person says NUQ2 hold. Let's see. Yeah, they've been a hold all the way since 20% ago. They were a hold 11% ago. They were a hold and they're down 11%. So they've been a hold for a bunch of times, but yeah, 5% short interest. So it's not huge short interest enough to take notice of. Yeah. But and I don't mean to cop out on that one. It's just, it's not in my portfolio. B, it's not a tech stock. And C, my guess is where you're hearing it from, maybe they're talking their book because there's a lot of people on Twitter and stuff talking about their book. Doesn't mean you can't make money on it. Doesn't mean that it's not going to be another SMCI that's up, 700-800% in a year. I just don't know anything about it. That's the problem. Is I may steer you in a direction that is completely wrong. Let me throw this into iMovie. Let's see. I hate. You want me to talk about Meta? Let's just talk about scammers. And God, I hate these people. And it wouldn't work unless people actually clicked on this shit. That's the problem that I have. Is that it, if if people wouldn't click on this stuff, I mean, I'm so careful. I don't know you. I don't know anything. I'm not clicking on a link that you sent me. I don't care that I'm a podcast host. I don't care that you say, hey, I've got something for it. I don't care. I'm not clicking on that shit. Sorry. I get really annoyed with people taking money from others. Because I just, it bothers me. Just be a good person. The world would be such a better place if everybody was just a good person. Okay, and we're going to export file next. 10, 7 pod. Save. Okay. Now, let's go and look at Raxno, did I talk enough about Meta? I mean, how much more do you want to know? If you haven't used their AI, go and use it. And if you don't like it, don't buy the stock. Because that's where this company is going. Everybody's going to be using their AI. You already have, 4 billion people who go to an app of theirs per month? That's where I think, Meta wins. That's where I think it wins. Let's see. Let me check my portfolio because Apple's down. I'm probably down. Let's see. Yeah. I'm down 0.66. NASDAQ's down 0.52. It is what it is. Spotfiy says they can't support me. They had this contest about supporting small creators and giving us money. And they said they can't support me. On October 30th, Seeking Alpha will host a live stream 2024 U.S. Elections Investing Forum. This virtual event will bring together leading analysts from Seeking Alpha and investing group experts to discuss the upcoming election and how political and economic shifts may impact the market. The exclusive event is available only to Seeking Alpha premium subscribers. Please note this as affiliates will only gain access to the live event after completing their 7-day free trial. Therefore, you must inform your audience that they need to register for premium and activate their free trial by 9 a.m. on October 23rd to attend the event. Interesting. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't want to sit and listen to somebody talk about U.S. elections investing for them. Hold on. I'm going to visit the events page. Okay, so 11 a.m. How public policy is shaping the market. 11:35 a.m. What stock market trends? What's on the ballot? 12:15 dividends, REITs, and your income. 12:55 energy investing in a charged environment. 1:30 tech stocks, how to stay ahead of the curve. 2:10 Bitcoin versus gold, what you need to know. That might be an interesting one. 2:50 quant investing for election season. That's Steve Kress. I don't know any of these people. I don't know any of them. I don't know any of them. I'm not going to. An event, you got my podcast. The hell? I'll tell you, politics don't matter. Doesn't matter. Look at Lily popping up over 900 again. Popping up over 900 again. I tell you what might come out of the core portfolios, Cleveland Cliffs. Netflix, when it dips under 700, buy it. When it gets under 700, buy it. Roblox, when it gets under 40, buy it. Shopify, when it gets under 80, buy it. Simon Property Group, that one's going to need to tumble a little bit. I have fears that this one is going to need to tumble to 155. Tesla, I can't imagine that Robotaxi is anything but fluff. They did invite an audience, so more than likely they're going to be taking people on drives. So I wouldn't put it past them to have some type of hype. Uber, I think it's an $80 stock again. I've highlighted that 82 is the high. I think it gets back to 80. I think you could buy this dip. Their earnings are coming out November 4th. I want to get back into it. There's two that I want to get into. I should have put this one in the buy the dip kind of thing. But CLS is one that I want to buy. This one is up 1% today at 54. I might just pull the trigger and buy a small position even with the RSI that high. And the reason is because even though the RSI on the 4 hour is that high, the RSI on the weekly is back to 50, and it just doesn't seem to go down after that. It seems to pump back up. I mean, this one the RSI got all the way to 87. 87. Multiple times it got in the 80s. So, and it's not overvalued. That's the crazy part is that, the valuation is, it was undervalued, and I think now it's just starting to become fairly valued. So, but that's a hard pill to swallow to buy this at 12 and then see it go up to 61. I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow. But I do think that CLS is one that I will buy. Okay, and with that, thanks, Donnie. I appreciate it. I'm out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy. See ya.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up and fears.